Okay, welcome everybody. All right, so we've had quite a few changes of plan in the last few weeks. So I'll just give you a quick rundown and give you a backstory, and then hopefully you'll be able to understand from there. Okay, so for the past 12, 18 months, something like that, I don't know, I've lost track, I've been talking about med beds. Now this is the military med beds that the secret space program has, and the military has been using since the 1950s. This is not new technology. This is quite old technology, extremely advanced technology, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I know that I've been back and forth, and there is a good reason for this. When you take on a role of speaking in public and talking about anything, let alone secret technology that's not supposed to exist, you get a lot of comments, and some of them are not favorable. Some of the comments are really difficult to deal with, and it has been an absolute roller coaster. And while I've met some incredibly fascinating, beautiful people, I've also met some people that I sincerely wish to never ever come across their path ever again, and that's being polite. It has been absolutely hell, to put it simply. It's been really difficult, and it's an emotional roller coaster. On one hand, you've got so many wonderful, beautiful people supporting you, and on the other hand, you've got people wishing you were chopped up into little pieces, you know, gutted like a fish and fed to crocodiles and sharks and all sorts of different things along with your family. The things that people come up with is so vile, absolutely vile. It is just heartbreaking. It is soul destroying, literally. And if anyone's ever been on the other end of an attack or an abusive attack, just by one person, you know how hard it can be. And then put yourself in front of the world, especially social media. It is not an easy place to be a truther or a whistleblower or an insider or an experiencer, whatever term you like to call it. It's extremely difficult, and I have a newfound respect for people who end up taking their own lives over cyberbullying and things like that, because it has just been a nightmare, and I would never want to go through this again. I would never want to put my worst enemy through this ever again. That's why I've been back and forth, not really consistent with medbeds. I've left, I've come back, I've left, I've come back, I've left, I've come back. And then add all the negativity onto having your entire identity stolen, your name, your photos, your information, your videos, all your personal details, your bank accounts hacked, your PayPal and other accounts hacked, your emails hacked, everything hacked and taken and used against you, and used to scam people into falling victim to criminal activity by charging people money for something that doesn't exist and something that they cannot pay for, they cannot provide. It has been, incredibly difficult, and I have walked away several times, and I've always come back because I feel for the people who are getting scammed. The ones, if I'm not talking about this, the ones that fall victim because they're new into the medbed humanitarian movement, or they're so desperate that they don't know what else to do and they think it's legitimate. This is why I always say, please, message me for proof, and I will give you a video call, a video message, telling directly to you, to your name, directly to you, telling you that it's actually me, because I don't want you to fall victim to these people. And this is why I've decided to come back and continue talking about medbeds. Once I stepped away just over a week ago, the scammers went absolutely wild, and they really stuffed up a lot of people. They really, by announcing medbeds are available in certain countries, message here and email here, and this is book your appointment now, and then people madly rush to get their appointment only to find out that it charges money and it's a scam. So we've been putting out a lot of fires, and it's been really not great. But this is the reason I decided to come back and talk about it, because while I'm out there in the public talking about it, then at least we're slowing these scammers down and trying to get a handle on it and help people to the truth, and and so they don't fall victim to these criminals. Okay, so so that's why I've decided to come back. I do have a Facebook group now, okay, Skye's Med Beds Official. Okay, that is the only Facebook group I have. I will put the link in the description below, along with all the other links and groups that I've got. Okay, now it's really important that you make sure that on Telegram the Facebook group has over 18,000 members, or close to it. We were at 19,000, and some of the bots have been kicking everybody out, which has been a bit of a nightmare. But yeah, so please make sure you join the right group. Always make sure that the Telegram group has 18,000 plus or near members. Okay, and then you're in the right group. And if you're unsure, ask me for proof that it's actually me, and I will always give it. The scammers won't, because they can't, or they will show you an old video of me or some other kind of crappy thing. But I will give you a detailed message directly to you using your name and everything. Okay, so just be aware of that, please. Okay, so what is a med bed? We're here to talk about med beds, so let's talk med beds. What is a med bed? Okay, it is an extremely advanced, very scientific, which my brain does not do. My brain doesn't do science. Extremely advanced piece of medical equipment, healing equipment, and it is based on vibrational frequency and a whole lot of other stuff which my brain can't comprehend because it's not wired that way to understand the workings of it. So I can't tell you exactly how it works, but I can tell you exactly what it does do. Okay, now how do I know this? Well, I've been serving in the secret space program for many years, on and off. I haven't done a 20 and back, as they call it. It has not been one long stint. It's been on and off, on and off, on and off. So sometimes I spend just a couple of days there in the SSP working. Sometimes I spend up to 3-4 months at a time, and then I come back and so and so. Originally, when I started figuring out that I was part of the secret space program, I felt that I'd only done about 6 years, but I have recently found out that it's actually been closer to 80 years. And how do they do this, and how do we stay the same age? Well, when they bring you back, they age regress you, and age regression is part of the medbed procedures. Okay, it's one of the procedures the medbeds do. So they age regress you to the time that they took you. So physically, without age regression, I would be over 100, well and truly over 100. But thanks to the medbeds, that I'm still quite young, which is good. It's very good. Now with the SSP, it takes a long time to recover memories, and I'm still recovering memories. I seem to only be able to recover memories about my home planet Venus and the medbeds, and a few other little space travel kind of stuff. Now I know what you're going to say, the flat earthers. There's no such thing as space. This is my story. This is my experience. So yeah, just try and keep yourselves, accepting that others don't quite view your opinion as you do, while, you don't have to view our opinion. Okay, so just please remain respectful and open to the idea. And so yeah, the medbeds. Okay, so gifted to us by the Pleiadians in the 1950s. That was gifted to us, and then we know the government kept it for themselves and used it for not so great things. Mostly in the SSP, okay, the secret space program, where they were off, I know, sci-fi, sounds like science fiction, but where they were off fighting on Mars and other planets and all sorts of other stuff. And of course a soldier would get blown up, and then they throw them in the med bed and they're all healed. A day or so later, off they go, fighting again, good as new, like nothing happened. Okay, they are that good. Okay, so it is quite simple. A med bed, from what I remember, I know the public, we are getting the updated ones, so I do not know what they look like. I have no idea what they look like. From my memory, it is like a clear capsule that you enter, and you're asleep the whole time of this procedure. And the quantum computer is attached to the actual med bed, which controls everything, your body parts, all of that, your life support, and does the procedure. Okay, it's very technical. I can't go into detail about technicalities because I don't know myself. Okay, if I ever get to go back in the med bed, I will request to get a more scientific knowledge, more scientific brain. Okay, how many times have I been in the med bed? I have counted 15. Okay, now this is not for healing purposes. I am part of a genetic program. I don't know what program it is. I have no idea. I'm still trying to work that out. And the med beds also do genetic mutations, genetic manipulation, all the other fancy smancy words that you can come up with. Okay, but it does genetic work as well. So it can, I'm going to give it to you straight, and I know a lot of people, this will make you fearful, but you have to know. You have to know. Do not fear. Okay, fear is something that we're moving away from. If you're fearful of technology that can do incredible things, like changing you from a human to a duck, adding extra body parts, taking body parts out, changing your whole DNA structure, they can do incredible things. Now, the ones we are getting, and yes, the deep state has been using them for bad purposes, okay, to do hybridization and all sorts of different things. We know the deep state has been, and will be completely defeated. They no longer have access to the med beds, and we have the Alliance, the Earth and Galactic Alliance, we have put several safety precautions, I guess you could say, on these med beds that the public's getting. So nothing without your permission can be done. They do not capture your soul against your will, only in soul transfers, which you have to agree to, by the way. They cannot change you from human into a bird or human to a dog or a pig or anything else without your permission. And they wouldn't do that anyway, because that's not in alignment with the human race, the human being. Other races, yes, they absolutely do that. They can do that. It's part of their DNA program, plan, whatever, but it's not part of ours yet. Maybe in a couple of thousand years it will be, but you're safe. You're absolutely safe. Okay, so what do? They regrow organs. They regrow limbs. They regrow teeth. They can regrow your hair, okay? So anything physical, brain injuries, they can cure, heal, or dramatically improve every single physical issue known to humans. They can get rid of cancer, they can get rid of Alzheimer's, they can get rid of dementia, they can regrow your spine so that you can walk. There'll be no such thing as quadriplegia, paraplegia, nothing like that, okay? They can fix you after a car accident, or jumping out of a plane and your parachute not opening, okay, and put you back together. As long as you have 5% brain activity, the med beds can heal you. Once you go beyond 5% brain activity, it's lights out completely. The only alternative there is a soul transfer, and you have to get to the person quick enough before their soul actually leaves, in able to capture it, so to speak. Now, don't go all, oh my God, okay. We need to be able to contain the spirit so it doesn't get caught up in the reincarnation cycle and elsewhere, to be able to put it into another body and continue life. That will come from the next of kin. No next of kin, or vibrational frequency as well. If it's in your vibrational frequency of your soul to continue life in another body, then that's what will happen. But mostly it'll come from your next of kin, because you'll be living with your next of kin or working with them or whatever, and many do not accept. Many will not accept, especially those of the religious nature, just because of beliefs, okay? You need, with med beds, you need to be open. You can't have all these, things in your belief system that you can't do this, you can't do that. The med beds is extraterrestrial technology from the Pleiadian star system, so it's not human created. It was gifted to us, and we've reverse engineered it and made it our own. Originally it was gifted to us, okay? So yes, it is extraterrestrial. It is extremely advanced. It can do the most incredible things. There are 3 different types. All 3 different types of med beds can do everything. Everything. If you have something very particular or very specific that is more of a complicated case, then you would be referred to that particular bed that specializes in that. But if you're just doing general healing, age regression, regrowing a limb, an organ, fixing your eyes, your teeth, anything else, making certain body parts smaller or larger in some cases, if you get my drift, all 3 beds can do that absolutely perfectly the same. It's only if there's something very specific or something very complicated that a specific bed will be requested. Okay, how long are the procedures? A whole range of different timing, because each procedure will require different length of time. So you cannot put a certain time frame. You can't say, okay, well, I'm going in for a med bed, so it's only going to be 2 hours long or 20 minutes long. When you go in for your initial scan, and we'll talk about that in a moment, the quantum computer will spit out a time, okay, a time of exactly how long your procedure will take. It won't go over a minute more or a minute less. Once the quantum computer has all your details and you've put in exactly what you want, your procedure will be exactly that length of time from start to finish. The only difference in timing will be, for your particular procedure, will be how long it takes to get you in the bed and out of the bed. Okay, but the actual procedure time will not change. All right, that's how it will be. Now, when you go in, I'll just backtrack just a little bit. How long are the procedures? So if you're going in for a general healing, that could take 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes max. Now, every single person will get a brand new set of teeth. That is standard. That is absolutely standard. Unless you do not want a new set of teeth, then they will just scratch that off. But that will be discussed during your initial scan. So a general healing, which pretty much everybody will have as a basic, will be about 20 minutes. And if you've got many problems, you're very sick, you're doing age regression, it can be up to 15 hours. If you're just going in to have your eyes fixed, you may be in the bed from the time you actually go in to the time you come out, you may be in the bed for 6 or 7 minutes maximum. Okay, so it really depends on what you're having done. So there's no way we can tell you, okay, you need to leave 2 hours for your procedure. Okay, you will only know that once you've signed off after having the first scan. Once you've signed off on what procedures you want or you need, only then will you know how long your procedure is going to be. So please don't say, oh, I've got this, I've got that. How long is that going to take in the bed? I don't know. The quantum computer does that, and they base it on what other issues you've got, what other things you need doing, and anything else that you may want. Now, the med beds can change your hair color, your eye color, your body size and shape. You can grow your hair, shorten your hair, whatever. There's so many different things. The beds can download languages, musical abilities or skills or talents, knowledge of gardening, knowledge of building, knowledge of science, knowledge of maths. There's so many different things. Can even change your singing voice, but not to use it for making money. Okay, if you want to change your singing voice to actually make money, then the quantum computer won't allow that. If you want to change your singing voice because you love to sing in the shower or at home or out in the yard, then yes, the quantum computer can do that. None of this is to make money. None of this is to get you ahead in the world. The med beds are here to assist you in becoming the healthiest that you can be so that you can live your best life. Okay, the beds are not here to make you smarter. The beds are not here to change your personality into be a better person. They're not here to change your beliefs. The beds are here to make you the healthiest you can be so that you can live your life to the absolute best that you can. Okay, that's it. All right. So criminals are not going to change their behavior or their minds. Okay, that's a choice. That's called free will, and the med beds will not interfere with that free will. Trauma. Okay, if the trauma is mental, emotional, etc., that's up for you to work on. The beds won't work on that for you. The beds can suppress the traumatic memories if it is severe, but you still will need counselling, quite a bit of it, to overcome and work through those issues yourself. The beds will not do it for you. Okay, so that's very important. All right. Dementia and Alzheimer's, it will restore the brain to the normal healthy function, and all the memories will come flooding back, and they will probably still need counselling to realize and understand what's happened, so that they can start living again their best way. What else? Females. Okay, this is to the women. The med beds you can stop your monthly cycle until such time that you actually, if you want to get pregnant again, and then they can restart it using the beds by just reversing it. If you've had a hysterectomy, etc., the beds can reverse that or keep it. Now remember, this is almost like a one-stop body shop for your body. You can choose what you have and what you can't, however, and what you don't want. However, if you want age regression, if you want, to make drastic physical changes, you need to have a higher vibrational frequency. That is so that you don't struggle after it. That's so you have a greater understanding of after the procedure. Okay, because many people, if all of a sudden everyone wants age regression to go back to 25, 30 years old, and you're not prepared for that, you may suffer greatly mentally and emotionally. So we're not going to let that happen. So the more drastic change, the higher the vibrational frequency you need. Okay, everybody, even the lower 3D, is able to be healed in the medbed. Healed, general healing. That's just basic general healing. Those who have sold their soul for fame, fortune, wealth, power, no, the beds will not work for them, because they have violated pretty much violated universal law, okay, by doing terrible things to gain something. So that's why a lot of the celebrities, after having their supply cut off, they can't get in the medbed because it just doesn't work. Okay. So the more drastic the change you want, the higher the vibrational frequency. Okay, and the highest is age regression. Not everybody will get it. Not everybody will be approved. Doesn't matter. Okay, it's just an opportunity for you to better yourself and work on yourself and your inner being, so to speak, so that you can, raise up. And that's eventually essentially what the med beds are being introduced for, is to raise your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. So we're moving out of the fear, we're moving out of anger, we're moving out of nastiness and lack of compassion and empathy, etc., into love, compassion, unity, friendship, all of that. So this is what the med beds are here to help with. They're not here to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. But they are here to assist you in your physical sense, so that you can be your better self, so that you have every option available to you. Okay, so what happens from now? Okay, so we are waiting for funding. All right, we've been waiting for funding for a very long time, and it still hasn't arrived, but it will arrive at some point. Hopefully by the time I finish this video, which we know probably won't happen. However, it'd be nice. So what happens when funding is available? And we need funding to build the centres, we need funding to pay staff, we need funding to buy supplies, we need funding to pay transport for patients to and from hospitals and homes and all sorts of different things. Okay, just because the beds are free for all, it doesn't mean that everything is free. Okay, so everything associated with running a medbed centre or healing centre needs to be funded, and we are waiting for those humanitarian funds to be released so we can start getting our centres prepared and hiring staff, training staff, getting supplies. No funding, no med beds, no healing. It's literally that simple, okay? Because if staff aren't paid for, if centres aren't created and staffed and trained, you don't get healed, okay? It is literally that simple. For the time being, when the funding is available, the military will be in control and they will be healing the humanitarians. The humanitarians aren't well, they can't do their projects, they can't give you med bed treatment. Simple. Very, very simple. So first is the humanitarians to be healed, and the military guys will be looking after that. Once the centres are ready and the beds are made public, then the military will hand it over to us, the humanitarians. Okay, and then we will be in charge, and you'll be working with us, and you won't be seeing the military guys. The military guys will still be hanging around and checking in on us, making sure we're all doing the right thing and we're all okay, and got our security guys and all set up and everything like that. But yes, once the beds are made public, the military will hand the running of the beds over to us, the humanitarians. Okay, so we need the funds for that. So when they are made public, when the beds are made public, there will be a phone number in every country, a national phone number. This phone number will be released to the public. I don't know how. I haven't got that far. No one's told me. It's in the distant future. Okay. Or hopefully the near future. We shall see. Who knows? So there'll be a national phone number for you to call in your country. Oh, pardon me. Which will, the person on the other end of the line will take your name, probably your date of birth, a couple of details, if you have any medical issues, what you need done, can you get to the centre, whatnot, etc., etc. And then you will go for your scan. So they'll give you the details, which will be the quantum computer will give you the details. It will not be the person. So the person won't set your appointment time and date. It will be the quantum computer. So while you're on the phone, the person on the other end is entering your details into the quantum computer, and it is the quantum computer that spits out the time and date and location. Okay, so then the person on the phone gives you those details and away you go. So you go for your scan. Okay, what happens in your scan? Basically, you stand there between what appears to be two panes of glass, and there's a little box on the other side of the glass, and it does the scan. You stand there for about 30 seconds. Don't worry if you can't stand there. Sitting in a wheelchair or laying on a bed is just the same. It is 3D technology, it is holographic, it can get every part of you, it doesn't matter which position you're in. Standing is for 30 seconds is just easier, but it makes no difference to the system. Okay, and then that scan is saved on the quantum computer. And then shortly after, you will go in and see the medbed team. That may be one person, 2, 3, wouldn't be any more than 3, I would not imagine. In which case, it's just like a doctor's appointment. They will bring up your scan onto their computer system and they'll show you. Okay, they'll turn the computer screen around and they'll show you what the scan has picked up. It'll all be highlighted. Any abnormal cells, any abnormalities, missing limbs, etc. will be highlighted on the screen. So you go through, the medbed team will go through with you of what needs to be healed, if anything, which we live in a draconian system, so yes, every person will have something that needs to be healed. And then it will have your actual physical body on that screen. And when they put in heal this, heal that, blah, 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 or just blanket heal everything, then they'll say, okay, is there anything else that you would like to do while you're having your procedure? It would be, for me, I want to learn French. Okay, I want a better singing voice because I love to sing and I don't want to make the dogs and the cats all screaming in the neighborhood. So that's what I would like to do. I also want to grow my hair much longer. I've tried to grow it and I can't get past it when it goes in my eyes, so I keep cutting it. That's me, that's what I want. Okay, so then they would do that. It's almost like Photoshop. Okay, we'll put your hair this length. We will, lose 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 kilos, whatever. Okay, let's see if you're at the vibrational frequency for those procedures. Yes, 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 or no. Okay, oh, I can't have the French language because that's not in my soul's plan or something, that I have to learn that. For example, okay, it's just an example. I can't think of anything else, so it's just an example. All right, so I get everything else, okay? Do I want to age regress? Not really, because the general healing would probably take you back healthy-wise 10 to 15 years. So you would be, if you're 50, it would probably take you back to a really healthy 35 to 37-year-old anyway. And since I'm still quite young, I don't really need it. So you can only go back, age regression, maximum 30 years at a time, 3 times. Okay, on the 4th time, you cannot age regress because they haven't quite perfected that technology. The age regression, after the 3rd time, it starts to destroy the brain cells. So for the time being, until we get more updated technology, you can only age regress 3 times. And it's up to you when you do it. Okay, so you can go 20 years between each procedure, you can go 40 years between procedures. It's totally your choice. Once you're healed in your procedure, your medbed procedure, you don't need to go back for maintenance. There's no maintenance with this. The maintenance is you living your best and healthiest life that you can. Okay, that's your maintenance. Your maintenance is your responsibility. You don't need to continuously go back for maintenance. Your maintenance is you. Okay. There's no limit or there's no maximum on how many times you can use a medbed. It is totally up to you. But again, it is according to your vibrational frequency, and they've set it this way so that you don't get used to it and addicted to it and abuse the technology. It is to stop the addictive behaviors. So if you want to change your hair color in the morning and then change your eye color in the afternoon just because you're an artist and you'd love to be different, then that's great. But the moment you start to get addicted to it and very noticing your body image and very wanting to make sure you look good for other people, that's when the medbed will start saying no, because it's quantum technology, it works on your vibrational frequency. Okay, that's to stop the addictions. Okay, now smoking, drugs, alcohol, yes, it will take away the physical addiction, that your physical body needs it, but mentally you will still need to go through counseling and work on your mind to not need the drugs, the alcohol, the smoking. Oops. Roxy, Rox. Another dog walking past. Sorry, she always does this. Anyway, you will need help with the mental addiction. Okay, the physical addiction will be done by the medbeds, healed, no problem, but it's the mental addiction that you need to work on, and that's important. Okay, so once you have your scan and you've worked out exactly what you want, healed, and any changes you want, etc., etc., you will sign off on that. I don't know how, probably a thumbprint or something like that, and then that is stored in the quantum system. The scan place, the place where you have your scan, does not have to be the same place where you have your procedure. Okay, so the quantum system will then place you on a list, on a treatment list according to your need, your triage need. Okay, they will try not to bump anybody down, but obviously there needs to be some leeway, give and take with emergencies that come in. All right. That's just standard triage. Okay, you can't get away from that. If someone comes in that is absolutely dying, obviously they're going to go before you. You know, and we have to be open and accepting to change. All right. So what was I going to say? Those that have been jabbed, you know, the jibby jab. I can't say it because YouTube will flag me. Those who have been, you know what? The beds can absolutely reverse any damage and whatnot. Okay. However, However, now this is very controversial, so please don't shoot the messenger. I am just the messenger. I don't make the rules. Okay. Those who have been jabbed willingly, we're talking willingly, not children, not the elderly or the sick, but willingly. Like, yes, I need to go get it to keep myself safe, etc. Those who have been jabbed willingly will not take priority over those who have not been jabbed, or those who have been jabbed unwillingly. Okay, now this is because this is consciousness. Okay, this is not just I got jabbed because I was fooled and I suffered an injury, therefore I deserve to have my problems fixed immediately. Okay, this is about consciousness. This is about understanding and accepting responsibility. This is about waking you up out of the matrix, out of the slumber, out of the mind programming that the deep state has everybody, most people, under. Okay, so you will still get healed. It just won't be at the front of the pack. So it will go in blocks. Okay, so if you have been jibby jabbed and somebody else hasn't, okay, you both have exactly the same condition. For example, you're both in wheelchairs, you're both paraplegics from a spinal injury. Okay, one's been jabbed, one hasn't. The one who has not been jabbed will go before you. Okay, if you are extremely severely sick or have any other very potentially near dying conditions, yes, of course you're going to be seen extremely early. Okay, if you're near death, yes, you will go before those who's unjabbed, who's not near death. Of course. Of course. This is not about making you suffer. This is about allowing you the time to understand that your choices and your actions all have consequences. Now, this is with everybody. I know I'm going to get shot for this by many people. I don't make the rules. I just voice them. I just deliver them. Okay, this has come from the Galactic Council. Okay, this is not even a human rule. This is a Galactic Council. The beds are here to assist you into becoming more consciously aware than you were before. And these jibby jabs have been an extremely wonderful wake-up call for humanity to wake up out of the mind control program that we've been under for so long. Okay, so please don't shoot me. I know many will, but it's not my rule. I'm just the deliverer of the messages. Okay. So your procedure, you will, once you get to your medbed treatment day, you will be probably put in a waiting room, the usual, like you would go for day surgery. Okay. You would go into a waiting room, and then when the next bed is free or it's your turn, you would go into a pre-procedure bed in a pre-procedure room, just like you do in hospitals, in surgery. Okay, there they will give you a drink, tiny little drink, and that will be about an hour before, 45 minutes to an hour before, which that drink will start to make you sleepy. Okay, so it's a sedative. It's not deep state medical stuff that we're used to. I got to be really careful with what I say, guys. So I'm trying to tell it to you, but be cryptic as well. It won't be the nasty stuff that we're all used to. It will be the really good stuff. Really, really good, non-injury, nasty, reactionary stuff. Okay? And there you'll get sleepy, and then they'll come and they'll grab you, they'll wheel your bed into the actual med bed room, and they'll transfer you into the med bed. They will close, from what I remember, probably something totally different now, but from there they'll close the actual med bed, because it's like a capsule, and they will press start, and away you go, because it's all stored in the quantum system. So you can have your scan here in Australia, and then you're on holidays, and your medbed procedure, because you're on holidays in, say, Switzerland or Thailand or New Jersey, wherever, that's where you have your procedure. Okay, so it's all stored, it's all connected. There's no, oh, I need my medical records. It's all totally connected, completely. And then they put in your name and they press start, and away you go. You have your procedure. You wake up, you don't feel anything, you're asleep. Okay, the bed will put you to sleep and keep you asleep. There's no chance of you waking up whatsoever. None, nada. Okay, the bed controls your every body system, body movement, body everything, including your mind. Okay, so you don't wake up. You don't feel anything, there's no pain, there's no tingling, there's nothing. You wake up when the procedure's finished. Okay, they will open up the bed, pull you out, transfer you back onto your bed and wheel you out into the post-procedure room, where you will get more conscious, more aware, more awake, and so forth. They'll give you a mirror and say, hey, look at you now, wow, and go through all of that. All that rigmarole that comes with it, okay? So it is really, really simple. It is nothing scary. For the people who are claustrophobic, not a problem. You'll be so sleepy before you go into the bed, you won't give a crap what is going on. All right? You just won't care. Really, trust me on that. You will not care. You'll be so sleepy. The nuclear blast could happen and you'll just go, lovely, don't care, whatever. Okay? So you won't care. So don't worry about being claustrophobic or anything like that. You'll be so sleepy. Won't make any difference. All right? So yeah, it's a really simple process. Really, really simple process. And they're keeping it simple so that you can understand it and it's seamless, you know, it flows. Okay? So pre-care and post-care, all right? Now, once you have your scan, okay, that's the quantum system based on your vibrational frequency, etc., can refer you to a healing center for very specific care. This might be counseling. This might be on a weight loss program. This may be a drug and alcohol thing. I just cracked my neck. It could be for any number of reasons. It could be physical rehabilitation to try and get your muscles as strong as possible, so when you come out of the bed, there's less time in the physical rehab, because we know that the brain still needs to connect to the limbs if they were not connected beforehand. So for a quadriplegic, would still need that physical rehab, even though they come out of the bed all that was strong and everything, they still need that brain-limb connection. So that's what the healing centers are for. Okay, so the quantum system may do that. Now, I just want to touch on one point. If you are obese, and this is not a judgment, this is just fact. If you are quite obese, and you make no effort before your procedure to lose weight, no effort, you just sit there. This is with everything as well, drugs, alcohol, any kind of addiction, anything like that. If you just sit there and go, I won't do anything because I got my procedure coming and the beds will do it for me, that's when the quantum system will say, you've made no effort, so why should we do the healing for you? This is your responsibility. Okay, and that's when the quantum system especially will say, go away for 3 months, make an effort, and then come back, and we'll rescan you and reevaluate you. Really, really important, guys. If you want something done, if you want a healthy life, you must start making an effort before your scan, because the quantum system will say, you're not ready. Because if you go and have your medbed procedure and you come out perfectly healthy after leading a really unhealthy life, you're going to fall straight back into that unhealthy life, aren't you? So we want to make sure that you're in the best possible shape you can be, physically and mentally and emotionally, before your procedure, so that the procedure actually lasts. So you're not coming back just for us to fix your unhealthy habits for you because you can't be bothered. Okay, really important to know that. Okay, you need to do the work, otherwise the quantum system will just say, well, you're not doing the work, so come back when you do the work. There's no point. Okay, a couple of months after your procedure of making you all healthy from all your addictions and bad habits, you fall straight back into it again. This is about raising consciousness. It's not just about healing you physically. It's about a conscious awareness and making conscious choices. Okay, really important to know that, guys, really important. So you can be referred to pre-procedure care, okay, counseling, physical rehab, all sorts of different things, all sorts. Now, after your procedure, you may also need to continue or begin the post-procedure care. Again, this is where healing centers come into it. Really important to follow up. Now, the healing centers are there to provide support, almost like, I can't even think of the word now, almost like social services to help you get back into your life, to help you overcome the changes, if any changes, that you've had in your physical body. Maybe you've been 200 kilos and now you're 130 kilos. How to get back into that, you know, and to help you get onto a program that will continue the healthy lifestyle and the healthy physical life that the bed has helped you with. So those who are severely obese will not go from, say, 300 kilos straight down to 70 kilos. That is too much of a change. It will not happen. Remember, this is about consciousness, not just physical. So it will go from 300 kilos down to 200 kilos. Okay, you will be asked to do some things, a bit of a rehabilitation and pre-rehabilitation program, counseling, healthy choices, etc. Then after a certain time, then you can go back in the bed and go from 200 kilos down to 115 kilos. Okay, it's not going to be from extremely obese to extremely small. That's not what this is about. Okay, this is about allowing you the opportunity to get yourself together, to get some program of your own going, some healthy lifestyle, fitness work, all sorts of different things. Okay, that's what this is about. It's not about doing the work for you. It's about assisting you to do the work yourself. All right. Really, really important, guys. I know I stressed it at the beginning of this video. I'm going to say it again. There are no med beds available at this time. We are still waiting for funding. There are no lists to put your name down for treatment. Nothing. Okay, nothing. And there won't be a list. The only time, you cannot email them, by the way. When they are available, there will not be emails. It'll be a national number for you to call. Like a 1-800 number, something like that, a national phone number. It's not going to be some Gmail or Proton account, okay? Nothing like that. It'll be absolutely spot on, okay? Absolutely spot on. And it will be professional. They'll have a massive website. It'll probably look like a government website, something like that. It'll be something that no scammer can duplicate, kind of thing, or will have extreme difficulty in duplicating. And then of course you're going to have humanitarians as well. So if you follow a few humanitarians in you know, some groups and things like that, then they will be able to give updates, and you will know if you're on the right track or not. Okay, so so yeah, that's it, guys. I will do the next video in a few moments when I turn this one off, and the next one will be specifically for the humanitarians. Okay, these videos I'm doing today, they are replicas of the videos I did before Everything Medbeds Part 1 and 2. Okay, so some of the information is the same, just presented a bit differently because it's been so long between. Okay, so this one you're watching now is Everything Medbeds Part 1, or probably just Medbeds Part 1, and then the next one will be Medbeds Part 2. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope this answers some of your questions, and yeah, please just know that you cannot get medbed treatment now. It's just impossible. It's impossible. They're not available. So do everything you possibly can to look after yourself now. Do what you have to now so that you're in the best possible shape for when the medbeds do arrive, and then it's all systems go. Alright, thank you everybody so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, thanks. Bye.